I am Gianna, the pet engineer. This is a radio talk show dedicated to help people to construct a better connection with their pets. To listen to our show, you can visit us at petengineer.com. Also, check my new book, Numerology for Pets, at amazon.com. If you are a pet lover, you know that there is a special type of a communication between animals and us. However, there are some people who can really communicate with animals. Today I have Sonya Fitzpatrick, who is one of the most respected animal communicators in the world. Sonya has worked with thousands of people and pets worldwide to achieve a better understanding of their pets. So let's hear what she has to say. Sonya, thank you so much to speak with me.
Thank you so much for inviting me to speak with you.
Sonya, when did you realize your psychic abilities with animals?
Well, I was born with this ability, and I could talk to animals before I even spoke verbal language. And the reason for that was I was born with a very severe hearing loss. So I could always hear the animals when they actually spoke to me. They could hear me, they could talk to me, I could answer them. The first few years of my life, I was just talking to animals and not people, because verbally I didn't begin to use, vocal language until I was about 4.5.
And how do animals communicate with you?
Well, they communicate. Many people don't realize it, but they are actually speaking the animal's language. And I believe that many years ago, before we spoke verbally, we were speaking telepathically, the same way as the animals do. The Aborigines and the primitive African tribes communicated this way too. And it doesn't matter where they are. I can speak to animals all over the world. There's no time or space. And so I speak to them telepathically, and always the first thing that I use are my emotions and my feelings. But I also use pictures. Now, just before we started the interview, your cat started to come in. So I received a picture of a tabby cat. And I said to you, which is a tabby cat, and you
Yes.
said it's sitting on my knee. And then I received a picture of a black cat, and you said, yes, I do, I have two. And then one sent me a picture of I have a bit of white on my throat area. And then the other one said, I'm more beautiful than that one. So it was started just like that. It's instant. But the pictures are not what you see with the physical eye. They are something that if I was to say to you, could you tell me where the Statue of Liberty is? You get like an impression of the Statue of Liberty. Now, they're the type of pictures that I receive. And it just comes straight in front of me, and it's just like a black and white picture. But sometimes they're colored. So they speak in pictures. The thing that I use more than anything is my emotional body. So I feel the feelings. I know if a cat is happy or it's sad, and then I feel that with my emotions. It's going back to your basic instincts. So I will feel everything. If a dog has a leg problem, I can feel it in the right back leg. And I will say, your dog's had a problem with the right back leg, because I use the whole of my physical body, plus I can also use my mental pictures. And so they talk in pictures, feelings, and emotions, senses, and intuitive feelings. So that's what I feel. And even get to the extent where, for instance, if someone has a problem with the cat urinating around the place, I will know the cat will tell me. I will ask the cat why it has suddenly started to urinate, because there's always a reason why an animal changes its behavior. And I will find out if my nose starts to literally start to itch and feel uncomfortable. I can say to the human companion, you're using chemicals, and the cat doesn't like the scent of the home. And the natural scent to the cat is the soil and the smell of trees and the smell of bark and soil. So if we have all these disgusting scents in the house that are chemically unpleasant for the cat, and they will put their scent down to counteract the horrible scent that they can smell in the house. It smells nice to a human, but not to the cat. Mm-hmm. So how do I communicate with animals was the question. I communicate in that particular way as I just explained.
Do cats, dogs, birds communicate the same way?
Darling, they do. And if I talk to a dog, I feel like I'm a dog. And when I talk to a bird, and I have to tell you that birds are extremely intelligent. They live longer. They always have their reasons. They have all birds, parrots or parakeets or whatever birds that I've talked to. And I've talked to all animals in the time that I have been working, thousands, millions of animals. But birds, I always find, are the most intelligent. I mean, I'm not saying that other animals aren't intelligent. They are. Yeah, so normally all animals do communicate in the same way. But birds, I become the bird when I talk to the bird. And all of the different animals, different things are important to dogs or to cats, or different things apply to birds. But they all communicate the same way, yes.
Is there any special story you would like to share with us?
It's not so much a story as explaining to people that they are speaking their animal's language anyway. And a lot of people don't recognize that they are. And the language is so subtle. It can come with a feeling or, I always say don't ever go against your instincts. For instance, I don't agree with declawing cats. It's the cruelest thing you can do to your cat because it's like cutting their fingers off. And, I remember talking to someone the other day who said to me, I said to her, are you thinking of declawing your cat because your cat is horrified? And she said, yes, I am. I said, whatever you do, don't declaw your cat. And she said, Sonya, I've been feeling that I shouldn't do it, but my vet is telling me I should do it. And I said, well, it's horrendous to do that. And I said, the fact that you're feeling that, your cat is telling you, don't do this to me. And I said, it's so many animal lovers that are close to their animals, like we are literally speaking their language but not recognizing it. Mm-hmm. So if you always pay attention to your feelings, just sit quietly, and your feelings would tell you what your animal is feeling. And if you feel that it's not right, then don't do it, because so many people say to me, I almost know what my animal is thinking and feeling. And they do. They definitely do. So always pay attention to your feelings and emotions, because you're speaking their language anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. Is there any advice you would like to give to our listeners?
Yes. Everybody, as we were talking earlier, darling, that we love our animals, and it's much nicer living with animals sometimes than people. Because they're so easy to live with. But, if you ever have a problem with your animal, just understand there's certain things that are really, really important. Like if you're moving house with your animal, whatever you do, don't wash everything. Take something with the scent of the house, because they recognize through scent rather than visually. Our first thing is we recognize each other visually. Their sense of smell is much stronger than ours. So if you ever move, take something from your old house with that scent on. And also tell them everything that's going on. And also, when you leave, always tell them that you're going to leave, but you'll be back. And if you have a nervous dog, or some dogs suffer from anxiety, there's a wonderful thing called a sort of thunder shirt, which you can get at thundershirt.com, which really helps with anxiety. And the reason a lot of animals are anxious or nervous, one particularly with animals, is that all of them have a network of nerves under the skin. And some animals, they're more to the surface of the skin, and they're what I call an ultra-sensitive animal. So when they're more to the surface of the skin, they feel nervous because they feel everything. A wind change, particularly cats. And often when they'll bite, the cats will bite you, is because you're stroking and you build up static and it's unseen and you think, why has my cat just bitten me? Well, it's bitten you because it gets static from you and you don't understand what's going on. So that's just a few things that people can start to begin to understand their animals better, just by understanding their sense of smell, and also knowing that they're so sensitive that static, they feel things, they know when storms are coming, we don't. They know when someone's ill. They know so much that the human doesn't even begin to understand. They get it just like that instantly.
Yes, I agree with you. Sonya, it's so wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
Darling, thank you so much. I've enjoyed being with you and talking to you too. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
And now, some animal news from the pet engineer. Fashion cats on a runway. It was moments before a fashion show. Elvis, dressed in a leather and leopard print jumpsuit, was having a meltdown backstage. Blood was drawn, and a therapist was called in to calm the star with a combination of a Reiki massage, soft music, and a dash of catnip. Cats are not humans. Please don't support this type of event.
My dog will always come through. All the pay I need.
Stop using chimps as guinea pigs. A public hearing that lasts 2 days is examining whether there is still a need for invasive chimpanzee research. Meanwhile, 9 countries as well as the European Union already forbid or restricted invasive research on monkeys. Americans have to decide if the benefits to humans of research using chimpanzees outweigh the ethical, financial, and scientific costs. Ending chimpanzee research and retiring the animals to sanctuaries would save taxpayers about $30 million a year. Well, some food for thought.
My dog will always come through.
Parasite gives rats a cat pee fetish. When male rats are infected with the Toxoplasma parasite, the smell of a cat urine may become as sexy as the scent of a female rat. Though this doesn't prove that the rat is actually sexually attracted to the cat urine, it does mean that it loses its fears, and a rat that doesn't fear cats become an easy meal.
I love my dog as much as I...
If you have any news, opinions, or suggestions you would like to share, go to thepetengineer.com under the submission link. Thank you for listening to the Pet Engineer Radio Show. Don't forget to check my new book, Numerology for Pets, at numerologyforpets.com.